Hello there, Sera from 17 once again, introducing you to my Gears of War 3 Raam's Shadow DLC Insane Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 4, and this is Under the Shadow. And we're back playing as Raam, or the man with the magic finger, because he's got krill finger, which sounds like an STI or an STD, depending on how old you are. And it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference with this mission is there's going to be more silverbacks and there's going to be onyx guards. But the onyx guards are just more armoured, more padded versions of these guards. So it's very simple. And you should never get stuck on these sections on any difficulty. My only problem with them is you don't get to choose your character. Because when you're playing on your own, you should get to be able to play as the fucking mauler guys with the reflecting shields and stuff. I don't always want to be Raam, because, in all honesty, Raam's got two moves. He uses his dirty fingernail, or he uses his big sword thing, and it's just not enough, man. I wanted to, I don't know, have a troika that he walked around with at end of Gears 1. Where's my troika, man? Just pull it out his little side pocket. He's big enough to. The dude's like a brick. Watch out for flamethrower guys as well, they're assholes. But I mentioned in the last video that the berserker might be pissed off that she's unattractive, and it made me think, because I mean, just looking at a berserker anatomically, how do you fuck a berserker? And it made me think, because the other Locust, I mean, some of them are big boys. I mean, look at that guy climbing over that wall. That guy would destroy a wretch. I don't know if they do interspecies loving. I'm not too sure. I don't even want to think about what that guy would do to a ticker, or a feral ticker. But it's like, how do they, you know, Marvin Gaye it? How do they put a little bit of music on, a couple of candles, and get it on? Especially with the berserker, because she's armoured. What does she do? Do you tickle the sole of her feet and she goes pink and opens up or something like a flower? It's like, how does this shit work? Or do they, I don't know, do they just dry hump or something and use the result as moisturizer and rub it into the scales or something? I don't know. If anybody can figure out this stuff, because it's probably not in the books. I can't imagine a red lit scene of love between two locusts in the book, but it's got to be pretty funny, especially like the mauler, because just judging by the mauler's equipment, he looks like he's a bit of a kinky dude, so he'd probably be into bondage or, you know, BDSM and all that slave and master shit. But I mean, who knows? Maybe he's a bottom. Maybe he's into, you know, guy on guy locust action. We may never know. But it's one of them things I've never really thought about, and it came to me a second ago. So what do y'all guys think? How do the locusts get it on? Maybe they lay eggs and then, you know, dry hump the eggs or something, or rub one out on the eggs. I don't know. This is the type of stuff Epic should be explaining. I don't care that Marcus has a father or what his father did. I want to know how you tickle the berserker's clit. That's the real questions. That's the real information we need. I mean, look at Raam. Raam is at least 3 feet taller than every other Locust, which must denounce that he's probably more in down than all the other ones. So maybe he's unable to have children because he injures people when he gets a little frisky. These are the questions that need answering. Maybe he gets his krill to do a number on him. He gets a little bit, you know, there's nothing wrong with you, and he just gets his bloody stereo out and lighting candles, and then the krill just descend, and I don't know. I don't even know where this is going. Because I mean, we don't even know what the equipment looks like for the Locust. We've never seen it. We don't want to see it, thank God. This is not, you know, Dante's Inferno. We don't want to see the that equipment anymore. But it probably goes into the whole thing that the Locust are quite possibly humans mutated and experimented on in some kind of secret research facility, and that we put them underground, and, you know, just like that alligator that got flushed down the toilet and then came back to eat children in swimming pools because it had been eating those animals that had been tested on with all those crazy chemicals. It's just man's inability to, you know, not fuck up and have something that grows up and kills us, really. It's crazy. But this is still more of the same, still more of using your dirty finger to do dirty things to all these people, just smashing dudes with krill. If you're playing as the other dudes, like the Elite Theron or the... I don't know if anybody else can... Actually, you can do it with Raam. You can get in the silverbacks if you want to. You can have a little bit of fun with that. One thing I will say, though, is the silverback dies super quick compared to when you're in it normally. Especially on Insane, it just gets stripped dead. So it's not really worth bothering. You can kill it as well. You can chop it with your knife if you want and see that lovely explosion. Completely up to you. But watch out for the guy on the troika. When you move into this room, you want to be careful, because there is a guy with a boom shot that kept killing me on this area. and the boom shot kills you really quickly. And as you've just seen as well, you do not need the biggest run up to impale people as Raam. The dude's just too big. He smiles and someone dies, that's how mean he is. Never understood those little bat wing on his hood. Those little bat wing slash bat ears things. It makes him look like he's... I don't know. Maybe that's the Locust equivalent of a turtleneck. I can't quite figure it out. But there's lots of things when you look at gears that doesn't make a lot of sense. Why does everybody have lights on them? Are we so, you know, power obsessed in the future that everybody has to have LCD lights on them? And I mean, it didn't even make any sense in Splinter Cell that you've got this dude dressed as a ninja in complete black and he just looks like a bunch of Christmas lights running around. Never understood that either. But anyhow, we're back as White Kimbo, so push forward here. There's a lovely stash of grenades and ammunition that you can pick up, because this next fight is a weird one. There's going to be a bunch of tickers and there's an emergence hole, and the tickers make it really difficult to get to the emergence hole, but if you conceal it, you'll pretty much cut half the fight in half, which is really useful. It all depends on your ability to do it though, which is, you know, indicative of your skill and what have you. But you push forward to the opening of this little courtyard. There's your checkpoint just in case you mess up. There's the tickers, and over there where I'm shooting is where a bunch of them generally stack up. The emergence hole comes behind that car to the right, and I go around this side, put my grenade on, keep on rolling just in case anybody's up my arse. And there's a lot of... Did you see that then? That ticker got rolled into me because there was an explosion. There's the emergence hole. There's two of them. And I'm just, oh god, don't blow me up! Don't blow me up! And luckily enough they don't. There's the second emergence hole. I moved just in time to find it. There's the... Oh, it worked. It totally worked. It could have not. And then that car gets blown away by a boomer, who's really close if you've done this aggressive technique that I've just showed you. So you want to make sure that both of them are looking in a different direction. How that boom shot didn't kill me, I don't know. It must have been because it was behind me. How that wretch didn't kill me, I don't know. I must have had, you know, my lucky pants on this encounter. But there's a boomer. I'm far too close to that boomer. Use the car as cover. Clean him up. Everybody's shooting him. He has items. Where's he going? What's he doing? There's nobody even over there, pal. But, you know... Luckily enough for me, it works in my favour, and I can pick up the boom shot, pick up the ammunition, and because we know there was two boomers, I can then go over and try and find the second lot of boom ammo. Because one thing I will say about this level is this is probably the longest level on the campaign. This is probably the longest and most difficult level of the campaign, and this is also the one that is the hardest to manage your explosives. And what I mean by this is, a lot of the encounters so far, we've been able to replace the explosives that we've used. Some of the later ones on this, you don't get that opportunity to do that, so you're going to come up to a courtyard, which I call the Courtyard of Doom, where you don't have the ammunition to replenish the stuff you're using, and it means that you're going to have to kill enemies rather than sealing grub holes. And I think this is down to my ability to not use my boom shots well. Because, if I'm honest, you can use your boom shots on this encounter here because you're going to kill two boomers after it, but after that is when I completely lose track of the best times to use the power weapons. So maybe with a little bit of retrospect in this commentary I'll be able to guide you a little bit better. But suffice to say, I got to the courtyard without any with one boom shot left and a bunch of grenades, and the grenades just didn't help me. It's a really bad spot what's coming up, but I'll talk about it when we get there. So this car park is really crowded. It's super crowded. It must be like a Saturday at prime time or something, like peak time. But that's a shotgun guy. You do not want to mess with him. That's why I'm blind firing, because he will kill you. And my team right now are actually holding up a bunch of the Locusts. You'll notice I fired a boom shot into that crowd because there was that many dudes queuing up there. The main issue in this area is as you push forward, you're going to trigger spawns, and some of the spawns are a hell of a lot closer than you'd like. Like this next one, when you move towards this gate, a car's going to plow through it. Dodge the car, but do not move back towards this area because there's a bunch of enemies. There they are. They will kill you super quick because they spawn there, and there's no cover if you've committed to moving up that ramp. Luckily enough, I remembered at the nick of time that those dudes were going to do that, and I managed to hit that car up and hide behind it, but it's so easy to not do that, and it's so easy to die, and the checkpoint is probably at the start of that last fight, which is more frustration than it's worth, but there's nothing you can do. But pick the ammo up, keep moving forward. There's going to be another fight on this next tier, but these enemies, there's going to be a few already up here, and there's going to be a few that will actually abseil down. And this can be an interesting fight as well, because it's difficult to push through this area. If you're up against a piece of cover and you notice you're taking damage, it means it's on fire, and it means it's setting you on fire. I didn't realise at first, but you do take ambient damage from fire. You want to avoid it. It's a little bit gay, but I suppose it's realistic. Realistic in a game where everybody walks around with armour the size of a small car, yet never have any kind of encumbrance. Total realism. Completely immersing myself in it. But I'm going to talk about some different stuff, because this is all pretty point and shoot. There's no emergence hold tactics for this, so I don't necessarily tell you what to do. I'm sure you can figure this stuff out, and if you're playing it on normal and you're just listening to this for the commentary, then you don't need it, because normal is a cake. It is absolute cake, and if you can't beat it on normal, then I would probably retire the pad, because you might be a really, really good fighter pilot, because you ain't good at games, son. You can't cut it. But I was looking on IMDb the other day, and I say looking, I was actually in the middle of a lecture, and the guy next to me was looking on IMDb, so by default I was watching his screen, because I don't know about your guys when you're in school, but if you see anything remotely distracting when you're in the middle of you know, a lesson and the teacher's talking to you at length about something, you get so easily distracted. It could have anything on. It could have the dullest subject ever. It could be like Train Spotter's Anonymous magazine, and I'm still looking at what he's looking at, because I just can't help it. And he had IMDb up, and he was looking at some of the new releases, or some of the movies that are in production as we speak. And one of them was a film called Prometheus, and I love Prometheus as a word. I love where it comes from. I love everything about it. I just think it's a cool name. I actually, we only recorded one song, but we were making an EP for a grind band called that had Prometheus in its name, which I was the vocalist for, and that just shows my you know, I like the word. I have an affinity for that word. But I looked at the poster for it, and it's kind of a woman wearing a Kurt Russell-esque furry hooded thing jacket, and she's got a torch, and there's a giant stone pillar face behind it, and it's all good and atmospheric and stuff. And the synopsis for it was a group of space travellers or something like that, a crew of a ship, land onto a planet and enter a ship where their world is changed forever when they encounter something along those lines. And I was just kind of like, that sounds pretty cool, that. I saw Ridley Scott was directing it, I'm like, this could be really cool. And I'm going to have to continue this in the next video, because it's fucking over. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. You take care now.